Aloha, it's Friday, April 8th, 1 p.m. Congrats to the nominees being considered today for the governor's messages. You're joining our AEN committee hearing in room 224 and video conferencing, which includes the audio and video of remote participants that's being streamed live on YouTube. You'll find the links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website at capitol.hawaii.gov. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end the hearing due to tech difficulties, we will reconvene on Monday at 1:30 at April 11th during our AEN time slot, and a public notice will be given on the legislature's website. Because of our 90-minute time limit, at each of the AEN hearings, there'll be a 2-minute time limit for all testifiers. I'll be announcing the testifiers who'll be providing testimony via Zoom and in person. And with that, we will begin with Governor's Message 547, submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Agriculture gubernatorial nominee Diane Lay for a term to expire June 30th, 2026. First testifier, sorry for having a repeat performance here, but will be the Department of Agriculture, Phyllis Shimabukuro. Guys.
Mahalo and good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. Phyllis Shimabukuro Geyser, Chairperson, Hawaii Department of Agriculture. The department stands in very strong support of the nominee, Diane Lay. As you can see in her written testimony, she has extensive experience in the private sector of the industry, along with all layers, all levels of government, and we look forward to a favorable consideration for her second term. We are available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Mahalo, Phyllis. Michael Munikata from Ulupono Initiative.
Good afternoon again, Chair, Vice Chair, Senator Rhodes, members of the committee. Michael Munikata with the Ulupono Initiative. Just want to stand on our testimony in strong support of this nominee, as well as the 2 following Board of Ag nominees. Just really great to have these very experienced and intelligent voices that can really speak for producers across the state. And just looking forward to her continued service, in this case, Ms. Lay. Again, what a diverse background and what a good voice for ag she is. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Micah. Brian Miyamoto from Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, aloha, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, Senator Rhodes. Brian Miyamoto, on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau, first of all, the Farm Bureau would like to apologize for breaking Zoom and YouTube, and we have to restart. All serious. The Hawaii Farm Bureau stands in strong support of the nominee, Ms. Diane Lay. In the interest of time, we will stand on our testimony, but if you refer to our testimony like the previous 2 speakers, the wealth of experience and knowledge and background will go a long way to assisting the ag and the farming community with her membership on the Board of Agriculture. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo, Brian. Next is Nicole Galassie from the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, and members of the committee. Nicole Galassie on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council. We stand on our testimony in support of Diane Lay for the Board of Agriculture. We appreciate being able to work with Diane during this current term. She has been incredibly helpful and thoughtful, and we support her nomination for this term. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. And next, Diane Lay. Diane, are you with us? You said she's in the room.
I am. Let's see. Yes. Oh, hello. Sorry.
Aloha, Diane.
Hello, I'm Diane Lay. Thank you, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, and Senator Rhodes for this opportunity to come before you and ask for your consideration of my appointment, or I should say reappointment, to the State Board of Agriculture. In lieu of limited time, I'm available to answer any questions about my background or my interest in serving. So thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Okay. We had a total of 19 in support and 0 opposed on this nominee. Members, are there any questions? Okay, moving on to the next. Governor's
you.
Message 548, submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Ag, Frederick Cowell. Return to expire June 30th, 2026. Department of Ag.
Mahalo, Chair, Vice Chair, Senator Rhodes, and the members of the committee. I stand in strong support. The department supports the reappointment, the nomination of Frederick Cowell. He represents the island of Kauai and has a deep history in agriculture, especially in the coffee industry. He's been very important, especially in the past year and a half with the state of Hawaii dealing with coffee leaf rust. And we look forward to a favorable consideration of this nominee. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Micah Munakata. Ulupono Initiative.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Michael Munikata with the Ulupono Initiative. Just want to again express our strong support for this nominee. Fred, represents Kauai in a great way when it comes to looking at the agricultural industry, not only with all his wonderful and successful work at Kauai Coffee, but also with his use of technology and how he's able to manage his operations over there on Kauai and really be a good example on how we should look at those types of avenues to really help agriculture move forward. So looking forward to his continued service on the board and really appreciate your support of this nominee. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo, Micah. Next, Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair. The Hawaii Farm Bureau will stand on its written testimony in strong support of this nominee, Mr. Fred Cowell. I'd like to echo what Ulupono and Department of Ag stated. Something very exciting. Again, the largest coffee farm in the U.S., but it is Mr. Cowell adoption and integration of ag technology using drones, mechanized harvesting, I think is very critical to where we want to take agriculture here in the state of Hawaii. So again, we do ask the committee for their strong support for the confirmation of Mr. Cowell back to the Board of Agriculture. Thank you, Chair.
Mahalo, Brian. Anyone else wishing to testify on GM 548, either in person or online? Okay. Seeing none, members, are there any questions? Okay, moving on to GM 549, submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Ag, gubernatorial nominee James Gomes for a term to expire June 30th, 2026. Let's see. Department of Ag.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, Vice Chair and Senator Rhodes and members of the committee. The department stands in very strong support of Mr. James Gomes, often referred to as Jimmy Gomes. He has extensive experience in the cattle industry, and he recently concluded serving 8 years on the Board of Land and Natural Resources. Has a reputation of being a fair and strong leader, and we look forward to a favorable consideration of Mr. Gomes joining the Board of Agriculture. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Phyllis. Next is Micah Munakata, Ulupono Initiative.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, Senator Rhodes, and members. Micah Munikata on behalf of the Ulupono Initiative. Just again wanting to express our strong support for this nominee. Jimmy, he's a Paniolo. He's a rancher that exudes a lot of experience and really a lot of people can look to him as a mentor when it comes to this industry. So appreciate all his work with all the cattlemen across the state, but really again he's on the island of Maui. So great neighbor island representation here on the Board of Ag today. But just really appreciate your support for this nominee. Very rare you find someone that really wants to serve on multiple boards, and it's really a testament to what he can do for state government and helping to guide some of this policy moving forward. So appreciate your support for Mr. Gomes. Thank you.
Mahalo, Micah. Next, Brian Miyamoto, Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Brian Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. We'll stand on our written testimony and strong support. I'm sorry, we do like to add a couple of statements. So we do strongly support the nomination of Jimmy Gomes. Proven track record of service with his 8 years on the Board of Land and Natural Resources, a strong advocate for the farming and ranching community, dedicated Paniolo, as you heard the previous speaker say, a wealth of knowledge and experience, and will bring great background and balanced approach to decisions made at the Board of Agriculture. We strongly ask the committee to support the nomination of Mr. Jimmy Gomes.
Mahalo, Brian. Next is Nicole Galassie from the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard. We stand in our testimony in strong support of Mr. James Gomes. Like the previous testifier said, he's a Paniolo, but not only that, he is a Paniolo Hall of Fame inductee. He doesn't take that lightly. He represents his fellow ranchers really well. He has that dedication and the experience, and he's willing to put in the work to hear from producers to make the right decision. And I think he's going to be a great asset to the Department of Agriculture. Thank you.
Mahalo, Nicole. Anyone else wishing to testify either Zoom or in person on GM 549? Mr. Gomes. Seeing none. Members, are there any questions? Okay. Moving on to GM 550. Excuse me. Submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Directors of the Agribusiness Development Corporation, gubernatorial nominee Lyle Tabata for a term to expire June 30th, 2025. Versus Department of Agriculture.
Mahalo, Chair, Vice Chair, Senator Rhodes, and other members of the committee. We stand on our written testimony in strong support of Lyle Tabata, who represents the island of Kauai. Mr. Tabata has extensive knowledge of the island, which I think will be a great resource to the ADC board, and I look forward to a favorable consideration of his nomination. Thank you.
All of us, Jimmy Nakatani from ADC.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, and Senator Rhodes. For the first time, I'm glad to be here for a while. I've been missing in action, and I thought they were going to blame this, this glitch on me since this is the first time. But I think you, in strong support of Lyle Tabata, I think Lyle brings and very timely. He knows extensively, the situation in Kauai, especially in Kekaha, where the seed corn company is there. So I think he brings a really good knowledge to our board. Thank you.
Brian Miyamoto from Hawaii Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Brian Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawaii Farm Bureau. We are in strong support of the nomination of Mr. Lyle Tabata to the ADC board. As you can see in our testimony, Mr. Tabata has a wealth of knowledge and background, which would be invaluable to ADC. His experience in agriculture, engineering, and water, again, will help ADC in their mission to move agriculture forward into the 21st century. So we do stand in strong support of the nominee, and we ask the committee to support the nomination of Mr. Lyle Tabata to the board of ADC. Thank you, Chair.
Brian. Okay, anyone else online or in person wanting to testify on GM 550?
Lyle Tabata is in this room.
Pardon me?
Lyle Tabata is in this room. You can register to speak.
Okay, that's fine. He's online, or-
Yeah, he's on this room right now.
Okay, no questions.
I guess I'm here. It's not letting me access my video.
Okay,
Okay,
there you
here I
are.
am. All right, thank you. So I'm here representing myself, just chair, vice chair, members of the committee to express my gratitude for having this opportunity to serve our community on the EDC board, and I'm here to answer any questions if there were any.
Thank you very much. No questions. We shall move on to the next GM. That would be GM 551. Submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Board of Directors of the ADC, gubernatorial nominee Glenn Hong for a term to expire June 30th, 2026. First up is Department of Ag.
Mahalo Chair, aloha Vice Chair and Senator Rhodes and the committee. We stand on strong support, our testimony in strong support of the confirmation of Glenn Hong. Glenn Hong formerly served on our Board of Agriculture, and he provided valuable information and engaged in very good discussion of the submittals that came before us. He's no stranger to the agriculture community when he previously served as president of Young Brothers. And because of his strong professional experience in audits and accounting, I think he will be a very valuable member to the ADC board as ADC moves forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. Next is Jimmy Nakatani from ADC.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Stand in strong support of nominee Glenn Hong. He's been quite a addition to our board. That's all I have to say. I mean, kind of interesting, but he brings a lot of different perspective, transportation, etc. So it's been very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. Brian Miyamoto from Hawai'i Farm Bureau.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Brian Miyamoto here on behalf of the Hawai'i Farm Bureau. The Hawai'i Farm Bureau is in strong support of Mr. Glenn Hong's nomination to the Board of Agriculture. As previously stated, his experience at Young Brothers with transportation and the business background are skills that will be critical moving ADC and the agriculture industry forward. He does have a common sense approach to decision making. So we believe he'd be valuable, again, not just to ADC, but to the agriculture industry as a whole. So we do ask for the committee's support for Mr. Glenn Hong. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify on GM 551, online or in person? Members, any questions? Moving on to GM 598. Submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Environmental Advisory Council, gubernatorial nominee Michelle Lefebvre for a term to expire June 30th, 2022. And first up is Mary Alice Evans from the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Mary Alice, are you with us? Anyone from OPSD?
Yes. Hi, this is Leslie Segundo from the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development Environmental Review Program. And Mary Alice has drafted testimony in support of Dr. Lefebvre's nomination, and we stand in support of it. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else online or in person wanting to testify? Members, any questions? Okay, moving on to GM 599. Submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Environmental Advisory Council, gubernatorial nominee. Oh, sorry, that was for 598 and 599. So we'll move on to GM 600, submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Environmental Advisory Council, Gordon Scruton Jr. for term to expire June 30th, 2023. Okay, first up is Mary Alice Evans.
Good afternoon, Chair Gabbard and Vice Chair Nishihara, and members of the committee. The Office of Planning and Sustainable Development stands in strong support of this nomination and urges you to confirm Mr. Scruton to this position. Thank you. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to testify on GM 600?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Senators. My name is Gordon Scruton Jr. I'm here in support of my nomination for the Environmental Advisory Council. I wanted to let everybody know that I've been attending the meetings for a while now, and I've noticed a lack of representation of the construction industry on the council. The construction industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, so I really think we need to be broad and balanced and bring in somebody from the construction industry to the council. I am the chairperson for the General Contractors Association of Hawaii's Environmental Council. So we are working with members of the state and city as well with our construction industry. I'm a lead accredited professional. Let's see, what else can I do? I have over 40 years in the construction industry. So being the chair of the GCA Environmental Committee, with my experience being a lead accredited professional, I could bring much diversity to the council.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scruton.
Any questions? Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to testify on GM 600? Members, are there any questions?
I do have a question for Mr. Scruton, if you don't mind. You said you've been attending the meetings. What's the quorum situation right now? How many people are actually on the advisory board at the moment?
Right now, there's, I believe, 12 of the 15 positions are filled.
Okay.
We just had, let me see here.
Sure.
We just had a strategic planning forum on Wednesday. We had very good representation. I would say we had about 10 out of the 12 people.
So are you filling one of the vacancies, or are you filling somebody who's stepping off?
I believe I'm filling one of the vacancies because I don't think anybody expires until June 30th of this year or years afterwards.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Scruton. Okay, moving on to GM 601, submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Environmental Advisory Council, gubernatorial nominee Moana Bajur for a term to expire June 30th, 2023.
Good afternoon, Chair Gabbard, Vice Chair Nishihara, and members of the committee. The Office of Planning and Sustainable Development drafted testimony in strong support of Ms. Bajur's nomination to the council, and we're available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to testify on GM 601? Members, any questions? Okay, moving on to GM 602. Submitting for consideration and confirmation to the Environmental Advisory Council, gubernatorial nominee Rachel Sprague for a term to expire June 30th, 2022. And back to OSPD.
Yes, hi, good afternoon again, Chair Gabbard and Vice Chair Nishihara and members of the committee. The Office of Planning and Sustainable Development stands on its testimony in strong support of Dr. Sprague's nomination to the Environmental Advisory Council. We'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Okay, so that was actually for GM 602 and 603. For 602 is from June 30th to 2022, and the second one is from June 30th to 2026. So anyone else wishing to testify on that measure on 603, 602 or 603? Members, are there any questions? Okay, for some decision-making, members, I don't think we need to recess. We can just go ahead. The chair's recommendation will be to pass all of these governor's messages as is. Any discussion? So we will have, seeing none, we will have Vice Chair Nishihara take the vote. And I'll go through them. The GM 547, Diane Lay. Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Chair votes aye. Vice Chair.
Vice Chair goes aye. Senator Ocasio is excused. Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Bella is excused. Motion is adopted.
Thank you, members. GM 548 for Fred Cowell. Chair votes aye.
Vice Chair goes aye. Of the members present, any voting in opposition or with reservations, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. GM 549 for Jimmy Gomes. Chair votes aye.
Of the members present, any voting with reservations or in opposition, motions passed.
Thank you. And next is GM 550, Lyle Tabata. Chair votes aye.
Okay, of the three members present, any voting with reservations or in opposition, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. GM 551 is next, Mr. Glenn Hong. Chair votes aye.
Of the three members present, any voting in opposition or with reservation, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. Next is GM 598 and GM 599 for Michelle Lefebvre. The first 598 is to June 30th, 2022. The second one, 599, is June 30th, 2026. Any discussion? Chair votes aye.
Okay, of the three members present, any voting with reservations and opposition, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. GM 600 is Gordon Scruton Jr. Chair votes aye.
Okay, of the three members present, any voting with opposition and reservation, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. GM 601 is Moana Bijur. Chair votes aye.
Of the members present, any voting in opposition or reservation, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members. And finally, GM 602 and GM 603 for Rachel Sprague. The first measure 602 is from June 30th to 2022. The second measure 603 is June 30th to 2026. Chair's recommendation, chair votes aye.
Okay, of the members present, any voting with opposition or in reservation, seeing none, motion's adopted.
Thank you, members, and that concludes the 1 o'clock agenda. Adjourned.